Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius. Today's the 14th of September, 2023. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday. Yep, today is Thursday. Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll disappear from that little left corner. I'll fix the lights a little bit here, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now a little bit better. Okay, so before we go further, as always, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. You can, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, and feel free, honestly. Look, without further ado, let's jump into the charts, actually, because there's a lot I want to go through. I have a bunch of instruments here that I'm going to pick up on. So, looking at the technical picture here of Nikkei 225, and we can see that we had a nice, beautiful move here to the upside. And it rebounded nicely from that 50-day EMA and pushed higher. So we didn't have much data actually coming out from Japan, but mainly was kind of driven mostly by the US, and I think it might remain so, and especially Europe as well this week. So in terms of economic data today, yes, we did get some like core machinery orders, like foreign investment in Japanese stocks numbers, so like nothing major, to be honest. And even tomorrow we don't have much. So yeah, this week in terms of Japanese data is a little bit on the calm side, but it's mainly reacting to the developments in Europe and US. And of course, there are some developments. Now, look, from the technical perspective on Nikkei, I would say it came back up closer to this downside line. So this means kind of will it break eventually this downside line, or actually will this downside line provide good resistance from where the index will, for example, drift back to the downside? Well, at this point, I think while the downside line remains intact, the main scenario remains this, that we could see a drift higher. If the downside line remains intact, then another decline could be possible towards that 50-day EMA. Now, unless the downside line surrenders to the bulls, and this is where the excitement could come for more bulls, and we could see this one pushing nicely to the upside. So for now, I would say be careful, be cautious. Keep your eyes on this. If you're, let's say, either you're a bull or a bear, I would say, both of you might be wrong. So at this point, so just leave it for a little bit, let it settle down, let's see what it's going to do here. For example, if you've missed this rebound from the 50-day EMA, then yes, like I said, take a pause, just chill, have yourself a coffee, or tea, and just like keep your eyes on it, and just let's say wait for it. And if we get a clear break, and we see the body of the daily candle staying above this downside line, great, we could start examining higher levels. But again, let's not rush into anything. China 15 index. So this one's still stuck here. To be honest, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because the whole week I was talking about this one, and I said to you that in order for me to aim lower in the short run, I need to see a drop somewhere below this 12,500 territory. For the upside, I need to see a break of this downside line drawn from the high of the 1st of August, and at the same time, a push above the 12,727 territory might do the trick for more buyers. So just for that extra confirmation. But honestly, I'm not going to say anything on this one because the whole week I was talking about this one, and it's the same game plan for me still on this one, on the China 50 index. In general, yes, maybe from the very short-term perspective, we are drifting lower, but let's not forget that we have this upside line, which, by the way, some of you might say, but hey, maybe this is a nice head and shoulders pattern. Well, it's not a really very nice one, but if you class this little part here as part of the head, Okay, I might like go ahead with that, you know. So let's say the left shoulder here, the head, and then the right shoulder forming right there, and the neckline being this nicely this upside support line. So, but again, theories. Let's keep an eye on this little hurdle. If we do break below the 12,500 zone, then yes, I'll get a little bit more closer to that idea of a possible head and shoulders pattern. ASX 200. So there we go. Beautiful rebound from this upside line. Look at this. Look at how well this played out. So this morning we got some data from Australia, and yes, we got their job numbers. Unemployment figure came out the same actually as previous, and it was forecasted to come out the same. So 3.7. Okay-ish. Yes, it's all fine. Employment change, that's what's interesting. It kind of improved quite significantly, I would say. And participation rate also drifted a little bit more to the upside. Not only that it managed to beat the forecast, but also managed to beat the adjusted previous figure. So yes, in a way, in general, good news, good results here. But look, from the technical perspective, yes, we got a rebound from this upside line, and we are now testing these EMAs. As you can see, these EMAs so far are doing a good job in providing kind of a hold up here, and they have been doing that like since Monday, something like that. Okay, on Monday we did get a bit of an overshoot. On Tuesday we got a little bit of an overshoot. On Wednesday we got a little bit of an overshoot, but overall, the bodies of the daily candles stayed kind of, you know, they struggled to surpass the EMAs. So this kind of gives me that little cautiousness that not everything is so sparkly and rosy, you know, in the ASX 200 world. So that's why for now, look, if you want to look at some higher levels in the short run, I would say, let me just grab in the line. I would say keep your eyes on this one. Why? No. There we go. There we go. So this one, like here. So if we do climb and stay above all of the EMAs, then yes, this potentially could attract more buyers into the game. But I'll get more comfortable with the upside if we do push somewhere above that 7,217 territory. And then we'll take it from there. Yeah, kind of, out of breath a little bit. It seems like that, I think, yeah, or didn't kind of get out of bed with the correct leg. Anyway, right now, okay, Dow, right, let's jump into the US indices. And before I do that, good morning, everyone. That's what I do here every morning. I say to you, good morning, everyone, in the chat room, in the video, and I hope you all guys are having a wonderful start of Thursday. Look, the Dow. Okay, I was kind of hoping to see some sort of more action, to be honest, but in general, we got interesting data. We got yesterday inflation, U.S. inflation, which ticked a little bit higher. And what's important is that the headline year-on-year CPI figure rose by just one. Well, actually, it rose by around 0.5%. So from the previous 3.2, so it came out at 3.7. The forecast, and actually, it managed to also beat the forecast because the forecast was at 3.6. So, also I was actually watching the core one more because it was very interesting to see if we're gonna get like an increase, a nice increase in the core. But to be honest, okay, the core one did drop a little bit, so that's where maybe the market positivity kicked in a little bit. So because I'll explain. So in a way, the year-on-year headline inflation rose. Everybody's like, oh, okay, you know, like inflation ticks up a little bit, and that's true. But it kind of the headline one includes food and energy. So yes, they are part of the very important part of the economy, of the inflation kind of measure. But let's say if the core would have drifted nicely to the upside, then that would probably spark even more fears, especially for the Fed. Now, as we know, the Fed is watching inflation very carefully. Look, next week we do have this. We have this decision, and you can see that it came out at 97%. Now it's sitting at that during the meeting, the next meeting, they will not go and kind of hike rates, and that's, you can see clearly from this one, right? Now, the fact that the headline inflation ticked higher, yes, it kind of creates concerns that we might see some more interest rate hikes, but the fact that the core kind of stayed on the lower side and actually came out as expected at 4.3, versus the previous 4.7. So in a way, we can say it declined actually. So that kind of puts the Fed away from hiking rates a little bit, and I think that the market is seeing that as a positive a little bit. Although I think that everybody's undecided yet, but I think that the market will take that as a positive for now, because they will say that, hey, you know what? I think that the Fed is not going to raise rates, and you know what? Let's boost the market a little bit and let's go higher. Maybe closer to the Fed meeting, or let's say during the Fed meeting in next week, and after that, everybody will be, yes, the Fed is ready to intervene whenever whenever it's needed, and I mean the usual phrasing, right? And then maybe we'll see the market maybe declining a little bit. But at this point, I think maybe the market could still push back up. But again, nothing is guaranteed, nothing is sure. For now, I will just try to keep a cold head. I'll try to keep my kind of view, views to myself maybe, or to you in this webinar. Yes, like I said, we'll see how it plays out. So that's why let's go step by step. Let's not rush into anything. Let's wait for those confirmation breakouts and then kind of do something about it. But like I said, this is the general situation right now in general with the Fed. Yes, like I said, the market, I think that they're anticipating that, yes, they already know that there won't be any hikes. Just because, like I said, inflation, yes, the headline drifted higher, but that's because of oil, energy prices and food prices. But in general, the other aspects, like the core, showed us that it's not really going higher. So that's where the interesting moment lies. Of course, the Fed will continue monitoring the situation. They will continue. They will be prepared to intervene whenever needed. The usual stuff. But coming back to the technical picture here. By the way, Yoga Yanga, good morning. Good morning to you. I understand your name is Chris. So Yoga Yanga, Chris. Hi, Chris. I'm very, very happy to see you here. Honestly, really appreciate that. And thank you very much for, let's say, not yet. I don't know how long you will stay here, but if you'll stay till the end of the webinar, thank you very much for killing an hour of your time with me. So and in general, everybody else, I really thank you very much for killing an hour of your life with me. I really, really appreciate that. I know it's valuable, so that's why, thank you. Honestly, I cannot even express my gratitude as much as I would like to. But thank you for that. So guys, looking at the technical picture here, so I'm still waiting for that clearance. I'm still waiting for that breakout through one of the sides of this of the trend line, or this triangle, if we want to call it a triangle. But actually, it's more of actually it's stuck between the trend lines. So we're coiling up a little bit. We're waiting for that exit. So at the moment, yes, we already had a few tests of the upper side here of this downside line, but we failed to stay above that downside line. So we need another clearance here in order to get comfortable with higher levels. Now, in terms of the S&P 500, looking at the picture here, I can see that we're still oscillating. And that's really not something that I really like. So at this point, I'm just observing the price action, and I think that it's time for me to get rid of these arrows and take a very conservative approach here. So look, if I want to go higher, okay, yeah, there is a chance for this one right now to push back up because we climbed back above the 4,478 territory, somewhere around here. But you know what? I'm starting to not to like my levels here, and I can see that we are just oscillating around the EMA, the 50-day EMA, so it's just becoming a little bit pointless to keep an eye on some of these levels. Maybe, just maybe this one could work out, but even then, not really quite sure. Maybe if we'll get a nice false breakout above this 4,493 territory, and then, yeah, maybe we'll go a little bit higher. Who knows? Look, in general, in my opinion, I would rather wait for a push above the 4,542 territory, somewhere around here, in order to go higher. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below this upside line, because at the same time, we might see a drop below the 100-day EMA. NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, look, yesterday tech was the one of the drivers, and let me just quickly double check that. Groups, yep. So yes, utilities. Utilities yesterday. Technology. Sorry, no. Utilities were the better driver actually. And utilities, consumer cyclicals, communication services. Yeah. So those guys. Okay. Real estate and energy were on the lower side yesterday. Okay, that's fine. But look, for now, what can we do here is still, I will stick to the same game plan. I will keep an eye on the 15,610 zone. I talked a lot about this level already. So, yeah, I'm not really inventing anything here. I'm just observing the price action, and then I'll do something about it later. But at this point, while we are stuck in this territory here, I don't like it. It's just something that I'm going to be watching, and yeah. Let's see. Let's wait until we get closer to one of my breakout levels. DAX. So, interesting. DAX broke the downside line. So, but what's even more interesting, that look what a beautiful decline yesterday we had, and look at what a beautiful rebound we had as well the same day. So we drifted lower, we found support somewhere like not far from that 15,600 zone, rebounded from that and pushed back up, and now we are above this downside line, tentative of course, taken from the high of the 31st of August. So in a way, I would say that maybe this is clearing up the path towards some higher levels. But of course, although this could support my idea of the indices going a little bit higher before the Federal Reserve next week, but of course I have to take everything with a pinch of salt. Maybe like it will struggle to overcome these EMAs, and we will just kind of, drift back to the downside. So that's why this downside line, don't really like rely on it too much. Is just here just maybe to have something like additional on the chart. But for now, just like I said, keep your eyes on this. Maybe even you can keep an eye on this little hurdle right here, this 15,883. And if that gets cleared, yes, potentially more buyers could join in, and we could maybe drift towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 10th of August, which is also a little bit on the tentative side, because we only have 2 touches and maybe it's not going to carry much significance. But in general, I'm trying to find some sort of logic somewhere. So yeah, maybe that could help. So, but let's wait and see. The FTSE 100. So yes, beautiful push above the above my EMAs. So everything's working out nicely, I would say. And yeah, I think that the great move here is that we're currently sitting. These are the futures, by the way. So we're moving, although yes, the market is not open yet. But so we're currently sitting above the EMAs, and that's in a way interesting. So that kind of creates that little positivity around this, and potentially could attract more buyers into the game. And then so on. We know we could go further north. And my next target is the 7,611, and then we'll take it from there. For the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line, drawn from the low of the 18th of August. And at the same time, if we break this upside line, then yeah, we would fall below. I think that we would fall below all of the EMAs here on my daily chart, potentially this way attracting more sellers into the game. US dollar index, okay, this one yesterday got a boost a little bit, but then it didn't. It kind of sold off, and it's stuck here. So you know what? I'm just gonna continue observing the price action on this one. I need to, for the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line. For the upside, I need to see a push above this barrier, the 105.12 territory. If we get that, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed and potentially could attract more buyers into the game. Now, one thing that you need to keep an eye on today for the US dollar, of course, is the retail sales numbers. I think, yep, the core and the headline retail sales numbers. PPI is coming out from the US. Initial and continuous jobless claims, something that will can move the US dollar and probably will. So, yep, keep your eyes on those numbers, and just be careful with that. Those are all coming out at the same time, so just, like I said, keep an eye on that. And of course, coming back to the DAX a little bit, guess what you need to keep an eye on today as well? The ECB. Because why? Because we have an interest rate decision. Now, what's interesting here is that, look, they are not planning to go for a rate hike right now. And to be honest, kind of, I'm thinking that they won't. I think that they will still keep an eye on the inflation numbers and just, for now, and just stick to the same 4.25 kind of number. So, okay. Of course, everybody would like to see a surprise. That's just that little inner youth is hoping to see a surprise, or like a number higher or a number lower, so that you could see some movement in the euro dollar or maybe even the DAX. So it's like, I know I'm probably one of those, but still I'm trying to keep my head cool, and I'm trying to think, what's going to happen. And look, for now I'm gonna. You know what? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But and for now I'm gonna stick to the same idea that what the current expectation is, that they're gonna keep the interest rate the same at 4.25. I think that they'll allow another month to kind of go, and then they will decide from there. But look, for now, that's it, kind of, in a way. And like I said, yeah, also keep your eyes on the US dollar today, because we have a bunch of numbers coming out. And kind of, by the way, in terms of the ECB, yes, keep your eyes on the interest rate decision. But if there's nothing major interesting in there, well, keep your eyes on the press conference, which is going to be coming out like half an hour after the interest rate decision. Gold. So, yep, continues to slide, to be honest. Nothing major here. Yesterday, we saw a correction back up. I talked about this 1915 level yesterday, by the way, if you remember, if you watched my webinar yesterday. So, okay, everything's according to the plan. Everything's fine here. So, I said to you that we might see a retracement, but if we struggle with this 1915 level, and we struggled with it, we tested it, but we struggled with it, and we drifted back down. And now we're drifting lower. So my next target is still that 1904 zone, somewhere around here, or maybe even that psychological 1900 level. That's probably what I would like to see, ideally. But again, the market doesn't always give me what I want. So yeah, at the moment, I'm just going to aim for the for this 1904 zone. Silver, honestly, if you remember since last week, I was talking about this one, and I was aiming lower. And you can see, and I was aiming for this lower side of the potential descending triangle pattern. Well, at the moment, look, I think that's the logical explanation of what's happening here. So, look, we fell. I said to you, if we fall below the 22.83 territory, I'm leaning further south, and so far it's okay. Now, in terms of like capturing a level here, now, this is where I need to make a little adjustment. Now, I have this descending triangle pattern on my chart, and I have this kind of idea that, like we could end up testing the highlighted zone right here. And yes, in a way, we could. But don't be surprised if we end up testing something like this. So we might get very close to this highlighted zone. This is what everybody will be aiming for, but actually we end up testing this upside line, this short-term tentative upside support line drawn from the low of the 22nd of June, and then we rebound and push back up. So that's why I think I need to make a little adjustment and just aim for that one. This is what I said before about this. I said I'm going to be aiming lower, and so far that is working out nicely. But in terms of the level or the area, I think that I need to kind of calm my ambitions a little bit in terms of lower levels and just kind of aim for this upside line for now. If we clear it, great, wonderful, we can go like and test these two levels here and stuff like that. But at the moment, let's just keep it, you know, because in general, look, we did have already quite a decent decline. So at some point it has to reverse back up a little bit, but will it be here or will it be from this territory? So I don't know yet. Oh, we have to, sorry guys, something's like, yeah. So for now, like I said, I'm just going to aim for this one and then we'll take it from there. Oof, oh, kind of a little bit out of breath, I think I am for some reason. Oil is looking quite positive. Looking at the picture here, 88 zone got cleared. I said to you before that my next target is the psychological 90 zone. Well, so far I'm aiming for that one, and yes, I'm gonna aim for that. And for now, 90.10 is something that I'm keeping a close eye on. So I don't have much to say, because in this one I said to you before that if we do pop and stay above this 88 zone, I'm gonna aim for that 90 zone, and so far we're on the right track. In order for me to go lower, now at this point, given that we have shifted already more to the upside, I think it could be reasonable to say that maybe, just maybe, we could start looking at some lower levels if we do fall back and stay below the 88 zone. Natural gas. So we got this one. Look, I talked about this a while ago. We're still in this range overall, as you can see here. But we popped above the EMAs, the 50 and the 100 only. We're still aiming for that 200 EMA, which coincides nicely with my upper side of the range where we're currently sitting in. So at this point, I would say if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, there is a good chance for this one to drift to the upside. Initially, I will be aiming maybe for something like, actually, this is where I need to make an adjustment for this level here, the 2.86 zone. If that gets clear, then yes, I'll go higher towards that 208 EMA, but initially aiming for this one first. If we continue to trade above the 50 and the 108 EMAs, which currently coincide together. For the downside, I need to see a drop, still the same game plan. I need to see a drop below the 2.45 territory, somewhere around here, and then we could take it from there. BTC USD, we popped above this downside line, and yes, we're currently staying above it. So my next target here is the 26,900, or actually, you know what? The 27,000 mark. That's what my next target is. Oh, wow, this one's a fat one. Let me just grab this. There we go. So look, it seems like we're kind of struggling with this territory right here, this kind of area around the 26,500, something like that. So if you want to go higher here on Bitcoin, look, the fact one part of the idea is already working out, that we popped above this downside line. So I'm currently cautiously bullish. I'll get more comfortable with the upside if we clear and stay above that 26,500 zone, and then I'll aim for the 27,000 mark. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 24,800 level right here in order to go lower. Ethereum. So this one's a little bit more bearish, actually. This is where my problem is. One is a little bit more positive, one is a little bit more negative, and yeah, this one is still below the downside line. This is what I don't like. So that's why I'm kind of careful with the upside here on Bitcoin. Ethereum is on a down move still overall, because we are still a bit trading below this downside line. And yes, this move to the upside could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So long story short, if you are looking for some lower levels, there is still a chance for this one to come in, because look, even if we do pop and stay above this 1620 territory, We could go a little bit higher. We could test this downside line. If that provides good resistance, then yes, another decline here could be possible. Now, another thing to keep in mind, of course, is this 1620 territory. If that one continues to provide resistance, then we might not even go towards this downside line. We might just stick around here and then drift to the downside. AUDUSD. So AUDUSD is looking quite attractive here as well. Yes. In general, what I talked about before, so far it's working out. So yesterday we had a bit of a roller coaster ride, and as you can see here, we had a nice, beautiful false breakout back below this upside line. So that's okay, that's fine, this happens. But then you can see that the buyers took control from around this 0.6380 zone and pushed the pair back up, back above this upside line, and now we're seeing yes more buying action here kicking in. So yeah, look, so far I think this is all good. We're pushing higher, and I think that we might we might end up actually going towards that 0.6488 zone, and then we'll take it from there, because that's the upper side of the range here where we're currently stuck in. AUDJPY also looking quite positive on this one, and again, mission accomplished, because what I talked about before, I said to you that if we do remain above this above the crossroads of these two trend lines, yes, we could go higher, especially if we climb back above the 50-day EMA. So mission accomplished, 94.90 level ticked. Now the question is, can we clear that one and stay above it? If we can, then my next target is the 95.86 zone right there, and then we'll take it from there. NZDJPY. So this one is moving nicely to the upside. Look at this beautiful thing. I had, if you remember, I had a downside line here before, something like this, but then we violated it, and I said that I'm getting rid of it, and I'm going to keep an eye on this upside line. And this highlighted zone right here, it opened the door nicely towards some higher levels. So in a way, I would say this is all working out nicely. My ideal scenario is here a move towards that 88.60 zone, but I think that I need to calm my ambitions a little bit and aim only for something around here first, maybe for this 87.80 zone, and then we can take it from there. For the downside, yes, I still have this level as the more attractive one for the downside, the 86.33, but I think that we could start already looking at some lower levels if we do start breaking this upside line, and then we will take it from there. USDJPY, looking at the picture here, still the same game plan is valid for me, because I'm repeating myself already for like a few this week. Last week I said the same thing. So as long as we stay above this 146.56 territory, I'm still leaning towards the upside. Well, so far I am getting that in a way, but I'm not really getting a higher high. This is where my problem currently remains, that I am not really getting a higher high, and that's why I am just keeping a close eye on this for now. Look, the fact that we're still trading above that 146.56, that's good. Okay, that's positive, but you know what? For that extra confirmation, maybe a push above the 147.87 territory would be required. So yes, I'm cautiously bullish, but I'll get more bullish if we do pop and stay above this barrier. The current highest point, is that the current highest point, or is this one? Is it this one, or is it that one? This one is 147.87, and this one is 147.87. Yeah, roughly. So yeah, if we clear that one, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, potentially attracting more buyers into the game. USDCAD, I cannot say anything else. Fantastic. Great. Look, I am still targeting this territory, the 1.35. That's my aim. So far, so good. Yep, around there I have the 50-day EMA as well. And then I'll take it from there. Look, if we reach that, end up reaching it, so that's great. And then I'll have to relook at this. Maybe it's going to be a head and shoulders pattern, maybe not. We'll just take it from there. But at this point, I said to you before that if we do fall and stay below the 1.3575 territory, I'll aim lower towards the 1.35 zone, and so far it is working out. USDCHF. This one is still continues to trade. It still continues to trade above this 0.8907 territory. So far, it is providing very good area of support. My question is, can we continue to trade above that zone? And yes, if we can, then great, more buyers could join in. If we aim for the 200-day EMA right here, then yep, this is from where I will get a little bit more excited with the upside. And you know, if we do continue to trade above this highlighted zone right here, yes, my next target is the 200-day EMA. That's my simple, less words, more simplicity. That's going to be my next target. If we do fall below the 0.89 zone somewhere here, then yes, I'm going to consider a larger correction to the downside towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 27th of July. US dollar against the Mexican peso. There we go. Beautiful thing happening here is that we fell below this upper side of the previous range. I talked about this, and then I said to you that my next targets are the 100-day EMA. This is 17.21 zone. Then the 50-day EMA. So far, we're getting a nice little hold up there. And if that gets cleared, my next target is the 17 level. So that's what I'm going to be aiming for if we do drop again below this 50-day EMA. That's my simple approach here. For the upside, I need to see a push above the 17 point maybe 40 zone, something like that, in order to consider a move back to the 200-day EMA. GBPCHF, so beautiful rebound from this lower side of the rising channel, or maybe it's actually a rising wedge as well, but it's kind of very small angle. So maybe it's a channel. So, you know, what either way, it rebounded from this lower trend line, this lower upside support line, drawn from the low of the 19th of July. So beautiful result here. Okay, that's great. But what I said to you yesterday, that if we do drop and stay below this upside line, then yes, I will go a little bit lower. We did get that? No, we didn't. We got a rebound. So one of the rules whenever we enter like channels or rising wedges or falling wedges, in general wedges, while we remain inside the pattern, it could still go into in the direction of that channel or wedge. We will only change our view if we break through one of the sides of it. So yeah, for now, I am just keeping a close eye on this. GBP Aussie. GBP Aussie is looking quite attractive here as well. So we broke a little bit the upside line here, drawn from the low of the 26th of September of last year. So now my question is, can we get a nice good further drop below this? Well, it's a little bit of a tease right now, so just don't rush into anything. First, keep your eyes on this, but it could end up being very interesting if we do fall below that 1.94 territory and stay below it. If we do that, if we do that, then yes, more seller could join in, potentially drive this one towards my next target, which is the 100-day EMA only, and that's it. GBP USD. So looking at the picture here, honestly, this one's boring. I really don't like GBP USD lately. It's just kind of very, very boring and like not really doing much. So that's why for now, I will say that, look, my same game plan is valid. In order for me to aim for slightly higher levels in the short run, a push above the 200-day EMA is needed. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 1.2445, and then I need to see the body of the daily candle staying below it in order to go a little bit more towards the downside. Because if, again, a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed, then potentially more sellers could join in. EURNZD. So there we go. Yesterday we climbed higher. We failed to break the upper side of the falling channel here, and then we retraced back down. We tested this upside line and we broke it. And this is what I kept on saying to you guys, that if we break this upside line and stay below it, then yes, this increases the chances for a further decline. And you can see, if you remember, if you watched my videos from the beginning, or lately, you remember me drawing a bunch of these trend lines here. All of them are tentative, don't get me wrong. All of them might not carry much significance, but I want to put them here just because they're kind of giving me some sort of logic. So the moment I am seeing a nice good break above this, or sorry, below this upside line, and then this means and there could be a greater chance for this one to drift lower. But so far, the 50-day EMA is in our way, so in the bear's way. So, yep, for now, we're waiting for that clearance here again. EURCHF, haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but we came closer to the upper side of the smaller range within the bigger range. So we're currently sitting around here. Look, I said to you before, in order for me to go higher, I need to see a push above the 50-day EMA and also this maybe 0.96 territory. I'm waiting for that because at the same time, if we pop above that, we would pop above the 50-day EMA, where we could then aim for the 200-day, the 100-day EMA, and then we could kind of take it from there. For the downside, I need to see a drop actually below the lower side of the this range, the smaller range, or actually the bigger range as well, the lower side of both the smaller and the bigger ranges, and then yes, I'll take it from there. While we're remaining here, I'm not doing anything. I'm just observing the price action because I really don't know what's going to happen here. We might start moving sideways, and that's not really kind of my kind of style. Let's put it this way. Euro Aussie, there we go. We broke the upside line and we fell below the 50-day EMA. What's also interesting is that we are currently kind of flirting with this 1.6650 zone. So if you want to look at some lower levels, I think that we need to see a nice good drop again below this area, and then we could aim for that 100-day EMA or maybe even lower. But at this point, just let's go keep it short and simple. So yeah, if we do fall again below the 1.6650, I will go to the downside. For the upside, I need to see a push above this barrier here, the 1.6889, in order to go higher. And finally, EURUSD, guys. So yesterday we saw a decline here, but that's fine. Look, we saw a decline. Yes, the US dollar kind of strengthened, but then it unstrengthened and it drifted a little bit lower. So now what we're seeing here in the US dollar is a little bit of confusion and nobody knows what to do, how to go further. I think that ECB might do a bit of a change, a spin, in order to kind of, let's say, shift this a little bit, because it's currently stuck, and I'm keeping an eye on this 1.0766 territory. If we do push above it, because so far it's providing good resistance, if we do push above it, I'll aim for this downside line and this 200-day EMA. Approximately where it is, maybe it's around this 1.0820 zone. Again, could be a nice good target. Let's wait and see. For now, like I said, it's just this barrier that I'm keeping a close eye on, and of course I'm keeping an eye on the ECB today. For the downside, well, a drop below the 1.0686 territory is required. I know it's a lot of territory that we're missing out on, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So that's it, guys. That's it for this session. Just a quick reminder that there's going to be no traders, no Daily Picture International for my traders tomorrow. We will resume on Monday. So, yep, guys, I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day today. Promise me only one thing, that you're not going to overtrade. Look, if it's not going, wait. If it's not going well, honestly, leave it, stand up, go away, do something else, and then come back. If you think that you're going to miss out on an opportunity, no. Always there will be an opportunity. The market is alive. The market is moving. You can always capture an opportunity, but don't overtrade. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose, and everything will be fine. Try to keep a cool head. Try to kick out the emotions, and okay, you know, it could be okay. So yeah, guys, look, I hope, like I said, today will be fine for you. I hope tomorrow also will be good for you. Just like I said, don't overtrade, and you can always leave everything for Monday. Don't rush. Life is beautiful. Enjoy life, and everything will be fine. So, thank you very much for sticking around with me, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for killing an hour with me, as I always say. I hope you'll have everything. I hope everything goes well for you. See you on Monday. Bye-bye. Uh-oh. You just broke a digital image, cursing us all to 7 years of market volatility. Undo by subscribing to our channel.